All right, so let's work some absolute value inequalities. To solve an inequality with an absolute value, you're going to first, just like we did with equations, isolate the absolute value. And then we're going to undo it by using the following. If I have a less than, it's going to be an and. I'm going to call it a three-part and. And if it's a greater, it's an or. So I call it a great or. So it's either less than, and it's going to be a three-part and, like this, or a great or for the greater symbol right there. So you've got to observe what symbol is here. So if you write it the incorrect way, I don't care if your numbers are right or not, it's wrong. So the whole thing is going to be to set it up the right way. So when I have the absolute value of x is less than 2, so it's isolated, it's simple. I'm going to take the inside of this x, and on the left, I'm going to put the negative and say that negative 2 is less than x, and it's going to be less than the positive. So here I put the positive here, negative here. Notice that these inequalities are going the same direction. You cannot have them going opposite directions. They have to go the same way right there. So it looks like that. And on a number line, there's my 0, there's my 2, my negative 2. It's going to look like this here, right there. If it's a greater, then I'm going to, the graph, I should put the graph first. The graph is going to look like negative 2 to this direction, this direction. So I have x is less than negative 2 or x is greater than positive 2. And again, remember, I'll just emphasize it again, that this and this, you see, look just alike, except this is missing the absolute value because I undid it. But the other one, the inequality flips and the number changes to a negative. So two things happen. All right, so let's work some. So I have absolute value of x minus 1 is, notice I took away the middle part. We're not going to, we'll work up to that. So I have the absolute value of x minus 1 is less than or equal to 6. So I see that it's a less than. So for a less than, I'm going to do this three-part inequality right here. So I'm going to start off and put negative 6. I'm going to do less than or equal to the inside, so x minus 1, and then it's less than or equal to the positive. So negative on the left, positive on the right, the inside's in the middle. And then once I get there, then I just have to solve it like we did the other three-part inequalities earlier. Just add 1 to everything, and I get that negative 7 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 8. And that is my solution. It says graph it. So if I were to actually graph that, I'm going to go ahead and put my, well, there's 0. I'll put an 8 here, a negative 7 here, colored in the dots, and then everything in between. So it's going to look like that in the middle. Can you tell what that is? There. All right, so then let's do the next one, B. I have the absolute value of 2x plus 3. Again, I took part of it out, is greater than 4. So to work that, then I notice that it's a greater than, and I come up here. Remember that a greater than looks like this. So I'm going to come down here, and I'll sketch the graph. Well, kind of a beginning graph. It's going to look like this. But I'm going to now do this. So I'm going to have that 2x plus 3 is greater than 4. So notice, just comes out, looks the same. And then I've got the or, because it's a great or. And then the other side of it, the inside comes out just as it is. Looks just like that side there, the same. I'm going to flip the sign and make it less than, and change the number to negative 4. So two things happen, less than a negative. And then once I do that, I'm ready to solve. So subtract 3. I'll put subtract 3 in both of those two. And that's going to give me that 2x is less than negative 7 here. 2x is greater than 1 here. There's an or. Then I'm going to divide everything by the 2 on both sides. and I get that x is less than negative 7/2, or x is greater than 1/2. So on a number line, I'd have the negative 7/2, it's less than that, and the 1/2, and it's greater than that. So it looks like that on a graph. And we'll pick up and do another one next class. So meanwhile, check out the video chat and let's see how you do. I know it's a hard concept.